Hey, it's Camo with the National Access Facebook Live show, and I was supposed to stand up, but I forgot, so you get me sitting down. Presented by Solus North Gulch Apartments, where taste matters. My special guest this evening, Justine Blazer.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? It's great to get you on the show because your name keeps popping up around town all the time.
Very cool.
So it's like, who is she, and why do you need to get her on the show?
Well, thank you so much for having me, first of all. I'm familiar with your show. You guys had an act I produced, Highway Women. So good to be back in studio. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about production, I guess, because that's something you tend to evolve into as being a producer, isn't it? How did that start for you?
Sure. Well, I grew up in musical world, I guess. My mother owned a dance studio for many years, I think 12 or 13 years. So I kind of grew up in that whole scene. My mother had me in, dance lessons and voice lessons from the time I was just basically a toddler. And I grew up in that world, dance competitions, singing, modeling, acting, all that. So when I got into more of my, adult years, I had over the years recorded 6 albums at the time. My first album way long ago, and then I had done up to 2013 was my 6th album, and I did that here in Nashville.
Right.
So over all that time, I started recording when I was 13. I basically grew up in that sort of environment, and I loved it. I remember it was more of the bigger consoles, and Pro Tools was just starting to kind of get in in the world.
So you were still an analog baby.
We were still analog. It was kind of that weird purgatory of like analog meets digital. That was when I started recording.
The in-between years. I've got that, but it's the in-between years between zits and age spot.
It's an interesting time in music because sort of that 2000s sound is weird because you have a lot of still analog stuff, but you have this sort of transition of digital. Now it's all digital, but anyway, so I grew up in that sort of scene, and I never really knew how to run things, but I always watched like all the sessions. It was just so fascinated me. And I was always saying to myself, I want to do this. Like, I don't know when, but I want to do it. So, so I put out my 6th album in 2013, and I worked with Billy Decker, Nick Autry over at Black River, same label as like House of Rainey and all of them. And then that was the last album I did until now. So in that whole time period, I started just doing different demos and different recording things, and just starting to build my rig up and started to build my studio. And it was a very long process, and learning the ins and outs, and it's expensive, and learning the whole just the whole makeup of how audio is created, like from the science aspect of it. So I have been studying with a lot of different people, a lot of different mentors, Billy Decker, Travis Humberg, Ben Turner. Those are all really, really important people in my life because they were able to teach me audio. So I was doing demos and like little side things up until about this time last year. And I finally kind of got my breakthrough project, and I produced Sarah Martin's whole album. And that was like my first really official like project. So only in less than a year, I went from like making demos to now full-on productions for people. I made my own CD, and I just found this morning I'm nominated for a Josie Music Award for Music Producer of the Year.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it blows my mind how that has sort of transitioned, and being a female in a very male-dominated world, it's very empowering, and I hope it encourages other young girls or girls of any age to take up audio, because it is a great thing.
I mean, aside from your name, I can only think of one other female producer in town, Kim Copeland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beyond that, I couldn't tell you a female producer.
Yeah, there's a few in town, but there's a lot of engineers, and there's a lot of like live sound engineers, which are great. I love working with live.
Third Lindsley, they have a great female sound engineer.
Yeah.
She's excellent.
But my niche is a little bit different because I want to be the like producer and mixer. That's kind of I love doing that. I love an artist comes to me and they literally give me like a phone work tape, and it's all all mumble jumbled, and you can barely make out the sound. You hear just the audio, you hear just the words, you read it, and from that creates a full production. And I hear it in my head, and I think doing music for so many years. Now I just put out my 7th album just back in April, so I did that whole album myself, and I think I have just this ability to, someone comes to me and I just think years and years and years and years of doing this, I can hear it in my head, and now I know how to run the console how I want to, how to get the instrumentation how I want to, how to mix it how I want to, but I hear it. And so someone will come to me and be like, can you imagine what this, and I'm like, yeah, it's super crystal clear to me. And I think that's an advantage because I am an artist, I am a singer still, and working with a lot of producers that have never been an artist or have never been a singer, and never been a female. It's all of those things that I am, and I think it helps kind of, it's a language that's hard to translate, and I'm able to kind of get through that.
Is it hard when, as an artist, you're producing your own album? Is it hard to be able to step back and say, hey, maybe I have to do something different, as far as the production? Or, a producer can work some nuances out of an artist that the artist may not know they have in them. Can you do that to yourself? Do you have enough depth as a producer and an artist to bring that? I
feel confident in my skills, absolutely. I don't think I could have, 5 or 10 years ago. I think I was still developing who I was, my authenticity, my character, what I wanted to say, what I wanted my sound to be like, and being confident with who I am now. I've gone through so many trials and tribulations, like in my career and in my life. So I own who I am, I own my skills, I know what I want to say, and I am proud of that. So I feel like at this point, I sort of feel like I've hit this new prime in my career, and it's like so exciting because before I started producing, I felt like I was on the tail end of my career, and I really wasn't seeing much opportunity. I was touring, I did some stuff with Ram trucks, I was on the road for like 200 days a year, and it was great, but it was just, I feel like I was just pounding the paper, like nothing was getting where I wanted it to be. And I was like, I have to take a step back. I have to reassess what is going on. And I was just another female singer-songwriter in Nashville. Like, that doesn't make you special. Yeah. So now, being able to...
Well, it's not even just being female, I think, because the quality of people in this town is so good.
Yeah.
Being good isn't good enough.
Isn't good enough.
Even being great isn't good enough.
Right.
You've got to be bringing something special.
And you got to bring different things. So I had to assess myself and kind of get, where do I want my brand to go? So this year has been a great year because I've really pushed myself. I really I thought the threshold was here, but it's not. Like I've pushed through that, and now I feel like I can go even further. It's just believing. It's a mind game. It's all it is. When your mind will hold you back if you let it, or if you let yourself just sort of bypass all the doubts and just keep going. Because I had doubts when I was trying. Imagine like being a new producer in a town where there's Ocean Way and there's the Sound Kitchen and there is Michael Knox and you name it. And
especially coming up through the 90s, there were some
killer guys. So as from a mental aspect, I was like, what the heck am I doing? What am I getting myself into? Yeah. But it's been a really, really liberating experience, and people have been very accepting to working with me, and it's been really exciting. So I'm very thankful that people are giving me the opportunity. I'm working with a few different labels: the Highway Women, Jesse Rose, TK Brown, Still River Band. The list goes on of all the different artists that I've been introduced to this year, and it's been really exciting. And I feel like we're just getting started.
It's producing in music, producing in film, directing. To me, they're all big things where it's a huge step as going from an artist or an actor to taking that step to directing or producing and saying, yes, I can do this, I can be in charge of everything. It's like being the president, what makes you get up in the morning and think, I can run the largest country in the world? Mm-hmm. Did it feel like you had to take a deep breath and say, yeah, I can do this?
Yeah, well, I think big turning point for me, a moment I had was I went to a conference back in November. Is the URM Producers Conference, and I was one of 150 producers that were there from all over the world. And I was the first and only female to attend this conference. It's like a four-day conference, and they had all these big, they had like King Sherko and Kevin Sherko. Those guys have produced, Ozzy Osbourne and Hailstorm and like all these huge bands. So being
I love Hailstorm.
Oh, I do too. I've met Lizzie a couple times. She's amazing. Cool. I love her.
Probably the best female rock voice out there.
Oh, she is. She's ridiculous. I've seen her twice. I've seen her at the Ryman, and I saw her at an outdoor event. And it's just like, how in the world can she? Because she's got this like grit and this rasp, but then she can hit these notes like effortless.
And then she can do a ballad.
It's crazy.
It just is perfect.
Oh, I know. I love her so much. I try to channel my Lizzie Hale as much as I do. But so basically I went to this conference, and I was so flippin' nervous. Like, you have no idea. I didn't know anybody, and it was all these guys, and I'm walking in and my heart's just like pounding, and I'm like, and then after a while, after about the first day, I met some people, and they're like, that's so cool, fist bumping me and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm accepted, you know what I mean? And so I came home from there, and it was in Orlando. I came home and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Like, it sort of gave me this sort of new
girl
level
power.
this girl, just this whole level of like, just boom, like badass.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why I'm like holding myself back. Like, my own mind was pulling me back, and all the doubts and all the different things that I had to kind of work through. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna own, like, do I know everything about this? No, and I probably never will. There's guys that smoke me and all these different things, but I do know what I am good at.
I don't think, in my opinion, it's if you've ever watched Springsteen on Broadway, and he talks about how sometimes 2 + 2 = 5, and 2 + 2 will equal 4, but when 2 + 2 = 5, that's when the magic happens.
Interesting.
It's how you could take somebody as a bad drummer in one band, but you get all the pieces together for another band, and these guys are just killing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the magic happens. 2 + 2 = 5.
That's a good analogy.
And when he said that, I get it, because there are some bands and some artists that there's just something missing, but then when everything comes together, it's like, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen for you when you're producing? Does sometimes that 2 + 2 = 5? You've got everything, but then there's just something that you can't put your finger on. It's not right. You think, I'll change this up, and then boom, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just experienced that last week. There was a track I was producing, and I was like, there's something missing. I don't know what it is. And my partner, Joey Grimaldi, he's my musical partner, he's like, it needs pedal steel. And I was like, you're right. So I called in my buddy, Cody James McKinney, and he plays for like Josh Gallagher and stuff. And I comes in and just lays down some pedal steel, and the track sounds awesome now. So yeah, that's just part of the whole process. It's just kind of like, for me, I've never trusted my gut so much as I have producing songs, because sometimes you just have to go on your intuition and your gut on things, because you have nothing else to go by. You know what I'm trying to say?
Sometimes you have to throw that science out the window, the technology out the window, and just say, do what your gut tells you to do.
Exactly, and trust that. Like, if something doesn't feel right, like, it's because it's not right. You have to just keep working through that. And to answer your question on the album, it was kind of a process, because I had to do it sort of in intervals. So I would work on the tracks, I'd step away from it for a few days, and then I'd come back and I'd be like, ooh, like, what? No, I gotta switch that around, or I gotta do this or do that, because if you listen to it too much, it starts to just sound like noise. It doesn't become musical anymore. So you have to it is a process, and you have to sort of take your time in that whole development of the song, because the song does mature, starting from the basic of it to the end product. So it's just being able to recognize that.
Let's do a song, and then we'll talk more about being an artist.
Okay, let's do a song.
Grab your guitar and let's
all right.
Dance for me, monkey.
Dance, right? I know. Isn't that the case?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what entertainers are now.
Well,
Dance for me.
we are an Artis. We are an Artis. All right, well, I'll do my current single. This one's out on radio right now. It's called Pioneer Soul Shaker. I wrote this with Chuck Thomas. Chooses the path that slips falls on, running with dust with high heels on. She is who she is by no mistake. She gives the give, won't take the take. With the grace of God, lives day by day. Such to the trenches of hell in her heartache. Painted shades of light through the pain. She just keeps carrying on, insisting on what it goes through rocks that's thrown her way. With a heart in shell, still believes in tomorrow. Sunrise still brings that smile on her face. Not looking for answers, still praises the maker. She's a pioneer, soul shaker. Refuses to fall, born to lead, cut her teeth, she's still a bleed. Emotions won't on her tattered sleeve. Through her life, holds tribulations, failed attempts, and bad relations. Don't be fooled by the smile on her face. She just keeps carrying on, and insisting on what it goes to rocks that thrown her away. With a hearty shell, still believes in tomorrow. Sunrise still brings that smile on her face. Not looking for answers, still praises the maker. She's a pioneer, soul shaker. No time to waste, no, won't roll with the fakes, no. She's a pioneer, soul shaker, just keeps carrying on, and insisting on what it goes to rocks that's thrown her away. With a heart in shell, still believes in tomorrow. Sunrise still brings that smile on her face. Not looking for answers, still praises the maker. She's a pioneer, soul shaker. Chooses the path that's less walked on, running with dust with high heels on. She is who she is by no mistake.
Woohoo!
Clap, but I dropped the camera.
Wow, that's great.
It's awesome.
Thank you guys,
Over here.
thank you.
So that's from your 7th album,
Called Pioneer Soul Shaker.
Pioneer Social.
The song's called Pioneer Soul Shaker. So
So
named the whole album off that song.
it's easier to remember. It just is.
Yeah, it's a
That's
cool
it.
title, you
Yeah.
know. I can't take credit for that. Actually, Chuck was the one who came up with that, and then we wrote that song together. So
Good song.
yeah.
And a hell of a voice.
Oh, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
At 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like to punish our guests.
I see that.
Thank you for being here. Now play.
Exactly.
So, 7 albums in, what do you think you have changed as an artist from the first time?
just doing it my way. As you sort of go into this process, you rely on other people, and you have to, because when you're starting out, you don't really know what to do. Your ideas are probably terrible, and you don't really know what you're talking about. So, you have to kind of rely on other people. But at the same time, they sort of take the direction of that, path. So, I'm trying to be as involved as possible, but it never was fully, I could claim like my problem. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was just there, but I wasn't.
You were just
I
there
wasn't
to
really
do the singing part.
And I was really like kind of left out, and that's very common. It's very, very common. So that's sort of like a contrast to how I am as a producer. Like, I involve my artists, I comp with my artists. Like, we do everything together because I know what it feels like to be not included, So, and that's not a good feeling. And because, like, I tell my artists all the time, like, I live with this track maybe 2 weeks, a month tops. So I've been mixing it. Like, you have to live with this the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I finish the project, I move on to the next one. So
I was watching, I forget, it was a big artist say about writing a hit song, and if you write that song, be prepared to be singing it for the next 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, I mean, Rick Springfield hates Jesse's Girl. He hates to sing it. That's his big hit.
An example, they hated doing Stairway to Heaven. They never
Yeah.
did it live.
Yeah, I mean, I know, it's true. But I mean, that's what people want to hear, all the hits, Journey, all those big bands, So, but yeah, I mean, it has sort of transitioned over the years, and just being confident with like who I am. Like I said, I mentioned that earlier, and just owning like my authenticity, because like when I first started up, I was like really, really young, and I didn't really have like, I feel like a whole lot of substance or depth to my songs,
Yeah.
I mean, how could you, you haven't lived life yet, so you have to go through some stuff, and I'm not gonna swear, but you know what I'm trying to say, like, you have to go through some stuff, gotta slap some stuff around, and that sucks at the time. At the same, it builds character, kind of builds who you are, and you own that, because you've been through some tough times, which I know everybody has. I mean, really, it's just life in general. You can really people can relate to you and believe what you're trying to say and believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. So I think that would be the difference over the years.
And a lot of younger artists make the mistake, like really young artists make the mistake of doing these cheating songs and drinking songs.
Right.
Well, you're 15 years old.
You're 15 years old. Just sing about 15-year-olds would sing about.
And Taylor Swift nailed that.
Oh, sure.
She went in understanding that right from the beginning, and that's why she's who she is today.
And her audience grew up with her because she started writing more deeper songs as years went on. So,
and, for me, it was like, yeah, she's really good, but I'm not who she's talking to.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's just, she knows who her audience is and know who her market is.
She's brought them right along with her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, she's the prime example of like doing everything right, So, but yeah, I mean, that would basically be, the biggest thing I've learned. And then just being able to, write about deep things, but at the same time not take myself too seriously. So it's trying to find that right balance. And I think this album is sort of that. You want to do the powerful ballads and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's just fun music, and I, like, if anything, over the years, I've stopped taking myself seriously. I mean, I take myself, but it's like, come on, it's only skin deep.
Finding that balance too of where you have to take yourself seriously, because the music business is such a cutthroat business. But
it can cut you down if you let it. So I've learned to just laugh like everything off. I really have. And that's been the one thing, because I used to be like, oh my God, they don't. And now I'm just like, okay, whatever. Because nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? You just got to just keep on going. People are going to say what they're going to say. People are going to do what they want to do.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to stay in your lane. And that's what I've done.
As many talented people in this town, there are twice as many untalented critics who
think I know, it's so true.
And then there are the people that live and die on what the critics say, and it's like, no, you gotta just do what you do, and at the end of the day, radio playing you, or are you playing a lot of gigs that are selling out, people streaming you, those are the things. And when people will toss around a word like commercial, oh, it's commercial. Well, when did commercial become a bad thing?
Yeah.
It means people like it.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. I know. Yeah, so, but this year I started a new podcast, so it's called Sonic Female. So that's been really fun, just starting at that, because just another outlet for independent, mainly independent. I have a few, non-independent people, but I have people that are on there, songwriters, singers, publicists, managers. I have people that are all different facets of the music business. So I just felt like it was just one more thing I could do just to kind of
find alternate revenue streams.
Well, not just that. It's continuing to just have a voice and a medium for artists, because I mean, as an independent artist, I feel like you never have enough opportunity because you're so limited. A lot of times it's just, those are all segregated and left for the major labels, So I have to think bigger, like what can I do to continue my brand as Justine Blazer, but also be able to help others at the same time. So that was the perfect opportunity, was to start a podcast, and that's what I did. So
what's the name of it again?
It's called Sonic Female.
Sonic Female, check it
New
out.
episode every Tuesday.
And it's on iTunes and all those places.
It's on, it's going to be on iTunes, I don't know when, but it's on Spotify right now. It's on SoundCloud, YouTube, my website. So
nice.
iTunes takes a little bit longer, takes up to 6 weeks for the episodes, but Spotify's right away.
Who do you compete with?
Myself.
Yeah,
I'm my own biggest competitor. Yeah. I don't really compete with anybody because everybody has their own level of success. So it would drive me nuts to be like, oh, that person is getting that gig and that person is getting that, nomination. It would drive me nuts. And I used to be kind of like that, but over the years, I've just sort of kept my blinders.
When people come to town, I think that's always the thing. They got to be competing with other people after a little while, because I've only been here 8 years. And
I've been here 8 years as well.
And it's like, who am I? It's just me I got to beat.
It's just me being a better version of what I was yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Every day is becoming a better version of
I'm going to be like 200 years old before I get it right.
All you can do is just try, and of course you're gonna have days where you're just not feeling it and it's just not coming, and that's okay.
What happens to you when you're in the studio, either as an artist or a producer, and it ain't happening? Do you force it, or do you walk away and give it some space?
I had a situation like that a few weeks ago. I was producing a gal, and we decided to stop for the day and reschedule. And it just wasn't happening. She just wasn't in the right mindset, and you can't force that kind of stuff. The artist has to be just really there, mentally ready to go. So, and that's fine. I wasn't mad about it. Trust me, I've been like that sometimes too.
You can't do it as an artist. It's like you have a show schedule. Sorry, I'm just not feeling it today.
Yeah.
Only Axl Rose can pull that kind of stuff.
That's true. Yeah, there's been a few. Pink actually pulled that as well.
Really?
And Lenny Kravitz. But no, I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't happen very often. I just show up and just plow through it. Some days are gonna be like nailing it, and some days are like, it's cool.
Because some days you can go in and not feel it at all, but the audience brings it out of you.
Are you talking about the studio or the gig?
Both.
Yeah.
As a gig or in the studio.
The gig, no matter what, you just got to show up, and there's no choice. You just got to play through it. So, I rely on my band. My band's awesome. Those guys have been with me for 5 years. Right. So we've done thousands of shows together. I trust those guys. Those guys have my back. I have their back. And I hinge on them. They hinge on me. If I'm not feeling it, or if I'm feeling vocally weird one day, we just navigate our way through it, and we have a trust, In the studio, kind of the same thing. I work with a few different musicians, so similar thing. We just kind of navigate the best we can through it. And then I'm sort of the liaison between the musicians and the artists, So I'm trying to manage both. So my best interest is always the artist. I always need to make sure that they are happy and they are, satisfied and feeling good, because at the end of the day, like, the music's important and all that stuff's really, but it comes down to artists, making sure that I'm getting the best vocal performance I can out of them. That is my number one priority when I'm tracking these guys and gals.
Let's get another great vocal performance out of you. You want to do another one?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure. Okay, I'm thinking which one I want to do. Yeah, I'll do a song called "Cigarettes and Secrets" off my new CD. And
This is Justine Blazer. If you're just tuning in, Justine Blazer,
hello,
artist, producer.
Gal about town.
all right, this one's called "Cigarettes and Secrets." I wrote this one with Liz Moriando. Found an old love letter stuffed in a drawer. Took me back to that summer, young broken boy. Back to my first kiss, the end of my innocence, the sweet in my bitter goodbye. Sharing cigarettes and secrets on the south side of the city. Through the smoke haze and the street lights, I saw love in 2020. You were perfect, I was reckless. That's how two young hearts get broke. Learning how to love, let love go. Running reds in a Mustang, up to no good. Staying out after midnight, laying on the hood. Lost in the moment, our hearts were wide open. We laughed at the face of our fears. Sharing cigarettes and secrets on the south side of the city. Through the smoke haze and the street lights, also loving 2020. You were perfect, I was reckless. That's how two young hearts get broke. Learning how to love and let love go. Maybe we're meant to be nothing but a memory, but it feels good to go back in my mind. Sharing cigarettes and secrets in the city, through the smoke haze and the street lights. 2020, sharing cigarettes and secrets on the south side of the city. Through the smoke haze and the street lights, also loving 2020. You were perfect, I was reckless. That's how two young hearts get broke. Learning how to love, learning how to love and let love go. Let love go, 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 go. Let love go.
Woohoo! Nice job.
Thank you.
How come nobody's written a great country song about vaping?
Right? Let's do it. Don't condone smoking though. Smoking's bad.
Come on.
It's just all about the imagination.
So what have you got coming up that we need to talk to people about, tell people?
Today is big day because I am releasing my new music video for Replay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be coming up later on this afternoon, so stay tuned. It'll be on my website, all my social media, Justine Blazer, and Justine Blazer Music. Just search all that, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. And so that's super, super, super exciting. I love this video so much. It's like a super, like, summery, fun song. And it's very pop, so that's a little bit different than like some of my old stuff. But the video did it, the guy did my video, Mel Torres out of LA. He flew out here a few months back and we did the video, and it's just so good. So excited for it. And then my new podcast, new episode came out today. It's every Tuesday. Come on, just basically go on my website. You'll see the episode every week. I have a new guest. And then, just found out today I was nominated for 2 Josie Music Awards. So, Female Artist of the Year and Music Producer of the Year. So, super excited.
It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Nice we finally hooked up.
Definitely, for sure.
We'll do it again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for doing this. Thank you for the platform and giving us artists a chance to do our thing.
It's
So.
nothing. Really, you've seen the show before. It's really. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you
Justine Blazer, go and check her out. Make sure you discover her, buy her music, and follow some of the artists she produces and get their stuff too. Thanks for watching the National Access Facebook show Primetime Edition with Camo. Make sure you catch me Saturday afternoons from 3 to 7 on Hippie Radio 94.5 in Nashville. You can also catch me Sundays at midday on Chris Country all across the UK. And Thursday mornings with Jody Crosby and John Wolfe on Tamworth 88.9 FM with my pick of the week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.